Hello everyone, and happy weekend. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to another Tinfoil Spotlight episode. Hope everyone's having a good weekend so far. Today we're going to be taking a look at a flat Earth documentary. Now, the first 15 or 20 minutes might look familiar because some months ago we tried to watch it, and the stream died about 20 minutes in, so we are going to rewatch the first 20 minutes, but then it'll be all new material. And a lot of you probably didn't see that stream anyway because it was so brief. So I do finally want to cover this documentary called The Next Level, made by Flat Earthers. It's a sequel to the documentary Level, which we've seen before. It's a lot of the same Flat Earthers trying to convince people that they're right. Should be pretty chill, should be pretty fun. If it dies after 20 minutes again, it's definitely a conspiracy. Agreed. Caesar Bishop, thanks for a 5-stream streak, says, everybody love everybody and love me sexy. Wow, a semi-pro reference. You don't see those often. Phoenix2250 with 41 months says, woohoo, subiversary. I wanted to clarify my chat comments about true crime streams and say I love watching them in short bursts, like 2 hours we did last time, but that I'm surprised some of the others in chat can watch it alone in their free time. Anyway, I hope we cover it more. That's my 2 cents about it. I understand that some people like it more or less and have different levels of, whatever about it. It's fine, if you don't, dig the true crime stuff and it's too much, you don't have to watch those episodes. If you like them, you can, I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. Lord Chaos says, oh goody, hopefully the stupid won't affect me while I'm marking math homework. Nemesaur with 165 stream streak says a watch streak nearly half a year long. Not sure what that signifies and probably best not to dwell on it. It means you're a great fan. It means you enjoy the streams. I don't know why, but apparently some people do, so that's nice. You want to see a pet psychic real quick? This stream was originally going to be about pet psychics, but I wasn't sure if it'd be entertaining enough. But here's a pet psychic video before we get into the documentary.
So who is this gorgeous creature?
This is Harold.
Harold, what a great name.
My son at 5 years old named him.
He's great. Yeah, and he likes the whole name, Harold, not Harry.
Yes.
And you've had him how long?
I'm sure he has a preference.
16 years
he
now.
is
16.
so handsome. He is so handsome.
Yeah, 16 years.
So the first thing he wanted to know is if you were going to get him a wife.
Yeah.
He said, well, there are things outside I can make do with.
Why is the tortoise so horny?
That's
said,
right.
okay.
I have found him in that position.
Yeah, there's a couple of nice rocks that remind me.
Which, was an eye-opener for me.
Listen, it's safe sex. That's okay. There's
There
nothing
we
wrong
are.
with that. So, and he knows of your other animals. He knows of the cats. He knows of your horse and stuff like that. He said, I've smelled them on you. It doesn't bother me. So, so he likes the fact that he kind of calls you Mother Nature because he said you take care of everybody. So he loves that. He thinks that's very cool.
A tortoise has the concept of Mother Nature in their brain somehow?
He likes when he's rubbed on his shell. He said he can feel that. He likes that energy.
I think that's probably true of most
He wants
tortoises.
to know when you're getting rid of the chickens. He goes, what are they good for? I don't know. He said they make a lot of noise and a lot of mess. And
I should just be an animal psychic. I'll get to go meet people's pets and lie to them. What a fun job.
I don't know why you have them. He said
False.
one time he was outside and he could hear all the windows vibrating from you singing, and he's like, "Wow, that sounded great." So, well, good. He really
He comes
enjoys
down the
that.
stairs by
Oh,
himself.
that's great. He wants all his vegetables chopped up.
Yes, he loves them very
Yeah,
chopped
he's
up.
very particular
Yes,
about it. So, is there anything that you would like to ask him and know from him?
Just how he's feeling.
He's very content. I mean, he's glad that you relate to him on a very high vibrational level. Some people get...
Just once I'd like to see a pet psychic tell someone their pet hates them. That never happens. And there's no way every pet likes the person they're with.
reptiles or tortoises or turtles or things like that, and they assume that they're reptile brain, but he's a very old soul also.
Oh, he is, yes.
So
he
very
keeps
neat.
wanting to go back to hibernate even though it's hot, and I wish you would ask him why he needs to do that.
All he said to me is he's looking just for a place to be quiet and out of the way because he can feel your footsteps and everything. So can he have something that's a compromise where he could tuck in and you'd still know where he was, but he really wasn't been hibernating? I don't know where that would be. Like he showed me like a cat carrier or something like that, or something that size that's sturdy, where he could go in and out, where at least you could peek and go, oh, I know he's in there, but then he could
Is this just a way of getting woo-woo people to learn animal care? Kariko59, thanks for 34 months.
out because he said sometimes he feels like he's in the traffic pattern. So he said, I'm not really hibernating. I'm just trying to get out of the way, So, and one time he said he did try to hibernate where your shoes were. And he said you weren't very happy about that.
No, I didn't think that was too good.
He was kind of doing the E.T. I'm hiding, you know. The rest of him feels healthy. I don't feel any real congestion in his lungs all the time. You're certainly taking good care of him. He said he's got a nice scoop to hang out in. He likes doing that. So he said he's very comfortable in there. So, and he keeps asking me how big I think he's going to get. And I said, I don't know. But he said he's been progressively getting bigger,
Yes.
you know, so he feels very healthy and stuff.
And weighing more.
Yeah. He's so cute. He's such a good boy. He is neat.
That is cute.
Really neat. Oh, what a sweetie.
Don't waste your money on pet psychics, though. They're scammers or crazy. Anyway, probably time to get into the main feature now. We'll watch the next level, but first, let me do my little calls to action bullshit that you gotta do when you're on the internet for money. Do me a favor and like the stream. I'd appreciate it. It helps discoverability. If you want to help support the stream and like it, you can always use bits, subs, memberships. You know the deal. With all that bullshit out of the way, let's dig into flat earthers and their strange beliefs. I wonder if, wait, Hibbler Productions, have they done other, like, flat earth or conspiracy? Oh my god, they do. Film library, climate trails, oh no, level with me. Oh, did they do a third? They did a third level movie? Okay, guess we gotta do that at some point. Fluvid-19. Oh boy, then we come to the next level, what we're watching today, and then the first one level. Oh, they did a 9/11 conspiracy video. And there's a trans Pinocchio for some reason on the poster. What? Did trans Pinocchio do 9/11? I don't think we're playing bingo because it's just one topic today, so I don't think it will get it. 2020 documentary, psychological operation, entering Neverland. That's about Michael Jackson, it looks like. Shot in the dark. I assume that's some sort of anti-vax film. They did multiple of those. Plandemic, so they're COVID conspiracy theorists. Wow, they've done a lot of these. All right, then. Anyway, continuing.
And this certainly has to be the most historic telephone call ever made from the White House.
Challenger, only seconds after leaving the launch pad, according to NASA, has exploded.
It just has the same seats that like a normal car has. It's literally a normal car in space.
And we're going back to the moon, back to the future, and this time, back to stay.
I should tell you that the first mission is scheduled to land on Mars on July the 4th, 1997.
We will undertake extended human missions to the moon as early as 2015.
We launched a new spacecraft as part of a re-energized space program that will send American astronauts to Mars.
We will not only plant our flag and leave our footprint for an eventual mission to Mars.
What you're seeing here is a mirage. It is Photoshop, but it's has to be.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Lady Ann with a 5-stream streak says, I'm late. The fuck did I miss? You're still on the opening credits, so nothing yet.
The one thing globe believers need to understand is that you don't just take the spinning ball Earth and flatten it out and put it back in the heliocentric model. Like it's just the only misfit planet and it's flat and the rest of the planets are round. No flat earther has ever said that. No flat earther will ever say that because it's not what we believe. The Earth isn't a pancake floating in outer space, and you will never hear a flat earther say that.
They bring this up as if it makes their beliefs less crazy. The fact that you also don't believe space exists is an extra crazy thing on top of flat Earth. So you haven't made people think you're less crazy, you've made them think you're more crazy. And they don't seem to understand that? A lot of flat earthers don't believe in space, maybe even most at this point. They think the Earth just goes on forever into lands that we don't know. It's crazier than the thing they're saying isn't true right now. I don't get it.
And if you would ever actually take the time to study it for yourself or hear a flat earther through, then you would find that it's much different and things would actually make more sense.
They've got the narrative control to where anyone that goes to search for this, they're going to see pancakes floating up in space, you know, and it turns people away. Or
it's so interesting how badly they're misdiagnosing why there aren't more flat earthers. It's not because when you Google flat earth, you see a flat earth in space. It's because your ideas are bad and your evidence is non-existent or warped beyond all recognition from the reality of the readings you got.
where they see a snow globe. A snow globe out in the middle of space with water falling off the sides, and they're like, what is this? It turns them away. The mainstream agenda was to push their false narrative, all these hit pieces on flat earth. 2016, 2017, that was pretty much the end of the YouTube era, where we could actually find real evidence, real, content.
Oh no, they made fun of us in documentaries and now no one believes us. It must be a conspiracy. It can't be that we're just wrong.
Any search engine, the algorithms are suited to their favor. You're gonna
I feel like my wife just made food. I smell something and it smells delicious.
see all the hit
Wannabe with 100 bits says, hello Hannah in chat. Hey Wannabe, how's it going?
pieces. You're gonna see all the stuff that's there to debunk flat earth.
Yeah, because flat earth debunking videos have been more popular than flat earth videos since like 2017, 2018. People love, not everyone obviously, but it's a pretty popular thing, or at least it was, for people to be fascinated by flat earthers. People are interested in people who think differently than them when that different thinking is so off that it makes them go, what? They believe what? People are interested in the bizarre, in the offbeat, and flat earth, particularly around that era, 2017, basically when it peaked in the algorithm, it became a public talking point that, oh my gosh, there's all these flat earthers. And that public interest got to the point that some people made documentaries about it, pointed out why the flat earthers are wrong, and then everyone kind of moved on. Like any public discussion point, nothing lasts forever in public discourse, People moved on, but the flat earthers are still there. Not as many as there used to be, maybe, but they're still there, and they still think there's some sort of conspiracy to get people to think they're ridiculous instead of understanding. People naturally usually come to the conclusion that they're ridiculous without any conspiracy being necessary.
So it's just, it's almost impossible to get the real information.
YouTube played their part in it, and not just cherry picking which videos they wanted to show, but deciding whether or not they wanted you to subscribe to somebody. So on several occasions and with several different content creators, I'd press the subscribe button to then find out several days or several weeks later that I couldn't find that content creator, assuming they'd either been deleted or they'd been censored beyond belief. And of course they had been, because my subscription that was previously made was no longer there. And I know that I hadn't.
That happens to people on YouTube all the time. I'm sure this has happened to you guys at one point or another. You get unsubscribed from channels sometimes. I don't know why, but it's not selectively doing that to Flat Earth. It's happened to me. People have told me that they got unsubscribed from my channel before and had to resubscribe. Again, I don't know the background of why it happens, but this is not a conspiracy against Flat Earthers. This is a general YouTube bullshit thing.
Unsubscribe to anybody and then resubscribing, you'd find again that down the line that the same things reoccurred.
There's a major campaign by Google and YouTube and all of these corporate lying companies.
This guy drinks pee, by the way. This guy is a flat earther who also is into urine therapy. We saw him on Pissmas last year briefly. So that might explain the sort of yellowish tint to his skin. He might be one that kind of puts it on him, lets it dry. I'm not sure. Either way, he's very dehydrated, so maybe don't take his advice. Wannabe66 with another 100 bits says, of the hundreds of planets discovered in the last decade, they still can't explain how the Earth would be the only flat planet out there. Well, that's the thing. Flat Earthers think that they're lying about other planets. They don't think other planets exist. They think that all of that stuff are lies and that the only thing that exists is a flat plane. They do not believe in space. They do not believe in other planets. They think it's all a conspiracy.
To discredit the flat earth. Why do they have that disclaimer under every video dealing with the topic of flat earth that it
because they got put in front of Congress for misinformation spreading, and then they decided to link to Wikipedia for certain things. 1 second.
it is an archaic,
my wife brought me potatoes,
antiquated, outdated model that the ancients used to believe in. Of course, the ancients were stupid. They didn't know how to build Gothic cathedrals, and
they weren't stupid. They just didn't have the tools that we have and the education we have to be able to make scientific assessments of things. Science is a relatively new thing for humans. Like, logic as an intentional thought process is a relatively new thing for human beings. It takes time and the work of others that came before you to build to the point that you can make discoveries, like about other planets, like getting into space. That took a long, long time for us. Wannabe with 40-bit says, now I'm hungry. You should be. These smell delicious. What type of potatoes? Hash browns.
know how to build cities and pyramids.
The problem is, people that think that flat Earth is stupid think flat Earth is stupid because they're thinking of a stupid flat Earth.
No, I'm completely familiar with every belief flat earthers have. I have been investigating this, talking about it, debunking it for years at this point. It is not because I'm thinking of a pancake in space. Your beliefs are wrong. If you want to call that stupid, that I think they're wrong, that's fine. They are pretty stupid, though.
And
it's not usually an intelligence thing, though, as much as it's a paranoid thing, wanting to feel special thing, looking for a community thing. Those are usually the driving forces behind a lot of conspiracy theories, is people wanting to feel special.
Ridicule and make fun of flat earthers. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Since 2015, the content providers for Flat Earth have had a living hell. We have been ridiculed, we have been trolled, we have been...
Okay, first of all, everyone on the internet that does anything gets trolled, so that's not specific to you. People troll me all the time. Secondly, people make fun of you because your ideas are ridiculous and bad and based on specious assumptions and bad experiments, quite frankly, which we've seen multiple times. Like, you're gonna get made fun of if you say silly things. It's not other people's fault. People on the internet can be brutal and overly mean, I'll give you that, but it doesn't mean you're not gonna get made fun of at all when you say something as silly as the Earth is flat.
Censored beyond belief by YouTube. It's really difficult to get the truth out.
You watched the new Dracula movie last night? Was it the Darren Aronofsky one? I heard he basically ripped off Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula. And also, Darren Aronofsky is making a completely AI project now, which pisses me off, because I actually like Darren Aronofsky, or liked Darren Aronofsky, until this AI thing. A lot of people don't even like Darren Aronofsky before the AI, but I defended him. I like Requiem for a Dream. I even like Mother. But now I can't defend him anymore. Fuck Darren Aronofsky.
There.
YouTube controls the algorithm. Who owns YouTube? Google. These are these big corporations that came in and said, the flat earth is getting way too big. People are finding this out. We don't want them to find this out. This will just completely destroy our agenda that we've worked so hard for. We're losing it because of our own technology that we create.
Most people who are aware of the flat earth movement of the modern day are not flat earthers. To imply that most people that are listening to your message agree with it is just incorrect. There would be no need to do anything because most people already disagree with you and don't find your arguments to be persuasive.
So they had to get involved. Withholding information and knowledge is a form of control.
Now, for new people coming into the subject, if you research Flat Earth, the Google analytic will...
Oh, no, it's Luc Besson? Okay.
...give you...
He's fine as far as I'm aware, other than questionable French shit.
government hate propaganda against the flat earth truth.
If you go to Google and try to find anything flat earth related, then the first thing that's going to pop up is the Flat Earth Society. And that is something that has absolutely nothing to do.
I don't even know if that's true anymore. Let me look that up. Flat Earth. First thing that comes up is Wikipedia. Second thing that comes up is EBSCO, which is some kind of research thing. I don't know if they're doing polls. Let me look. Concept of flat Earth posits the planet is not a spherical object, but a flat disk, historically. So this is just another definition thing, just talking about it. Scientific American. Someone write an article about what would happen if the Earth was actually flat. Library of Congress, NIH. Yeah, no, the Flat Earth Society does not pop up. Answers in Genesis actually pops up before the Flat Earth Society, so I think they're working on really old information.
To do with this movement. In fact, it's a completely made-up organisation in order to deter anybody looking for some sort of truth, so that you'd first of all get to that page, you'd see these ridiculous accusations and this spinning disc illusion that's going upwards in space. That
Flat Earth Society was a joke. It was a parody website, basically. It wasn't run by real flat earthers. But then real flat earthers came back and decided that it was making fun of them, even though it predates the modern flat earth movement.
I can assure you nobody believes in. If the globe model was as strong as they claim to be, then there wouldn't be so much concern with anybody talking about a stationary Earth model. Now, everything's fine in court until somebody walks in with a load of shit on you. Everything's fine until somebody out there has evidence.
Overdose 6666 says, "Hello, Hannah. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't have a channel, but I was curious how to reach out to you for collaboration. I work as a producer at a TV studio in Portland, Oregon. I want to cover a call for an uprising." I would tell you to be very careful about that because he is a crazy person. I stopped covering him because he continually threatened me and my wife's lives and doxed our location, knows where we live. Just, if you have any questions about it, you can reach me on our Discord. Just send me a message request on Discord. But I don't know how directly involved I'd want to be, but I'll ask you, you can ask me questions about it if you'd like.
That's going to prove you guilty. And that's when you start acting suspicious. That's when you start panicking. That's when you start putting damage control out there, which is inevitably what these bots are, what these trolls are on social media, and of course the algorithms. This is just a new lie that was started in the 20s, and even before then they weren't really teaching anything about the world and where we were. It was just common knowledge.
That's not true. We've known that the Earth is round since like Greek times. This is not something that's recent. Stone Corbell, thanks for gifting, thanks for a 20 stream streak, rather. Misspoke.
Main arguments that globe believers come at you with is we've known for 2,000
You already blocked that chatter, think they're a scammer. It's quite possible. It might be called themselves or one of his people. It's hard to say.
years, Aristophanes figured it out with his sticks and shadows. Well, Aristophanes may or may not have been a real mathematician. He figured out the shape of the Earth. That would have made him the Michael Jordan of mathematicians, but nobody ever mentioned him in a book until the mid-1900s.
What's crazy?
Okay. A lot of things have been, like, lost for times in history and then rediscovered by historians finding documents and being able to, like, write things down. Do you think that the existence of Eratosthenes is a conspiracy? I don't know. It kind of seems weird considering we don't even need him to exist to demonstrate that the world is round. It's a story about the first written account of someone being able to prove that with some sort of accuracy. But it's not required for us to know the Earth is round. We've done a lot more experiments since then. We've been to space.
Is I've talked to some elderly people and they've told me that
the oldest globe in the world dates to 1490. Oh, it's in really good condition. I'm actually shocked what good condition that's in. It's got a patina, but it kind of looks nice. Very cool.
In their day, when they were in school, they didn't even learn about people like Copernicus or Galileo. Everything's up for grabs at this point. People like Christopher Columbus and any other figure in history could be totally false or created just for some sort of agenda.
This is
okay, so all of history is a conspiracy to hide the shape of the Earth from you. Are they sure they how do they not understand that this is a lot to throw at someone if they're not already a flat earther? You're literally saying all of reality as we know it is manufactured. You kind of need to demonstrate that more than just, well, they're hiding the shape of the Earth.
Everywhere. We found somebody in Croatia. They said they were teaching flat Earth through the 1930s.
Most people think that...
And as we... First of all, I don't have any confidence that that's true. Flat earthers make things up all the time. But if you have to point to one specific country in the world and say, in the 30s they were teaching this, doesn't that kind of mean everyone else wasn't teaching that? Why would one country teaching incorrect information demonstrate that you're right?
This flat Earth versus globe Earth has been going back and forth for thousands of years.
It really hasn't. It was pretty settled long time ago.
No, it has not. This is a brand new deception. They come up with these stories, these fictional stories, fictional characters, to reinforce that we live on a ball.
All of our globe provers, Galileo, Aristophanes, Copernicus, the pictures of them show that they're Masons, but I contend that we don't even know if they're real. All of our history is a lie. I've met people that said that they were taught flat Earth in the early 1960s in school. They were taught flat Earth and globe Earth. And then it kind of...
No, that's not a thing. Remember, this is the guy that went to an old folks' home and found a woman with dementia and convinced her to say that she was taught the Earth was flat. She was not all there. I feel terrible how he exploited this woman. And he's used that for years now to say, well, see, they used to teach flat Earth. No, you took advantage of someone with dementia and fed her things to say, you sick asshole.
Just went away. I interviewed Ruth, the 102-year-old woman, back in
That's her.
February of 2020, and she was taught flat Earth in public school in Connecticut.
Tell me your name.
This is it. I'm actually gonna skip this scene. It's disgusting. He's taking advantage of her.
Right? Yeah. Magic. Here we go.
Rockefeller seems to have a role in this. He started the General Education Board and continued being involved with the educational system. The fact of the matter is, the people that have been in control...
Rockefeller and other wealthy people of the time that helped develop the public school system wanted to be able to pay people less, and if you trained a bunch of people from youth how to do basic math and reading and writing, that skill would be devalued, and it'd be cheaper to hire people and you wouldn't have to train them in those things because the state would have already paid for that training. I'm sure to some extent they also wanted people to be more educated or whatever, but I'm going to go with the cynical route because they were rich, so...
They're in control now, and they're going to continue to be in control, whether they pass it down or change the name, whatever it may be. But yeah, I mean, whenever Rockefeller's name is tied to something, it's always something to question, that's for sure.
That's a huge red flag for me, that they can come in and change everything we know, all of history, and turn it into deception. And keep teaching the deception over and over and over again until it becomes the norm.
The same man who said that he wanted a nation of workers and not a nation of thinkers. This was the same person who was found guilty of antitrust violations around the turn of the 20th century, who then went on to get his fingers in all of the education systems, of course with the promise of, I'll give you money, I'll make sure that your school has everything that it needs as long as you push these textbooks. As long as you push these narratives and you push these ideas, I'm going to give you a nation of workers and not a nation of thinkers. And that's exactly what...
Do flat earthers think that the sea just drops off into space? No, they kind of believe it looks like this. I'm glad I got this mouse pad. or maybe someone, I had it on a wish list and someone got it for me, I think. They think that the Earth looks something like this. They've changed it up over time. Not all of them literally believe it looks like this, but they generally believe that Antarctica is an ice wall. So they believe that the Earth is kind of like a bowl, and that the ocean is in the bowl, and Antarctica keeps all the water in. Some of them think there is nothing outside of that. Some believe that the plane of the Earth goes on infinitely beyond that. It differs depending on the flat earther. Wannabe with 40 bits says, I have to go do errands, but this is so good. I'm moving you to my cell and we'll be listening in the background. Nice. Thank you.
We've become.
Now, this should tell you something why we can't talk about literally the thing that we're standing on. Why is that?
No one's stopping you from talking about it. People are just going to make fun of you, like anyone who says anything ridiculous. That's human nature. It's not always the nicest thing, but it is what people do.
Knowing that there is a creator, absolutely. That is one of the main...
Why do half these guys look like cops?
reasons to hide this. But, you know, at the same time, it's nowhere near comparison when 1 billion people find out that there's more land.
It's about hidden land. I think there's possible they could be hiding land in here somewhere with us. And I think that the Antarctica Treaty is very, very, very sinister, and there must be something else going on.
They went really tough with their implementation of the Antarctic Treaty and everything else, and just to keep people away from the truth.
They made this documentary before the final experiment, by the way, when flat earthers and round earthers went to Antarctica and demonstrated there was a 24-hour sun. So a lot of this information is hilarious in retrospect, that they're like, no one can go to Antarctica. No one's allowed in Antarctica. Which has never really been true. There have been tour companies for Antarctica for quite a while. So yeah, they're just lying or misinformed by other people that lied to them.
They didn't want people to know about...
Oh, they're going to bring up Admiral Byrd. That's a big thing for flat earthers in Antarctica. Orion Cooper with the $2 super chat says, these people poison the well as often as fish swim.
Or land.
Haven't we been fighting over land forever? Isn't that what always happens? Countries fighting over land, but not on the outskirts of Antarctica. Oh, no, no, no.
What's even the value of land you can't really use because it has to be kept secret? They're not saying that the land is secretly valuable to the rich people. They're saying that the rich people are trying to keep all the other humans in the area of the world that we are right now so they can use us as slaves, basically.
No fighting there.
They are postulating that if there's extra lands, well, people like us who hate the world could just leave.
On agreeance. You can't go there. You can't explore any of it.
That treaty was in effect in 1959. It can't even be questioned until the year 2041. The longest lasting treaty that all of the world signed on to at the same time and is still in place. Antarctica is the container of our world oceans. What is beyond Antarctica? Why is the government hiding Antarctica from us? Why is Antarctica completely off limits except for taking a tour of a little peninsula off of South America, which is nothing?
Again, you can go to the South Pole. You can go inland. It's just expensive because it's a desolate wasteland. Antarctica is a frozen desert. You will die there unless you have lots of supplies and trained guides. People aren't allowed to go there on their own because rescue operations are incredibly expensive, and if your dumb ass walks into Antarctica without proper training, without a guide, they're gonna need to come rescue you or you will die. This is not hard to understand.
And people go, well, you can go to Antarctica.
We spent months trying to actually do it. I was going to send a crew. They won't call back. You can't even go there. There's one peninsula where you...
And as we all know, Alex Jones, very truthful person who never lies.
Look at penguins.
Exactly. And then you think, I have some friends that went to fucking South Pole. Yeah, they put them in that little fucking island with penguins. You can't just
saying you went to Antarctica and you walked around it. He's like being in New Jersey and saying you were chilling in California.
It's fucking huge.
There's about 100 different companies that you can spend a lot of money to go on a little guided tour of just that peninsula.
Is Alex Jones a flat earther? I don't think so. I think he has a lot of people, or had, I don't know if he still has a show, had a lot of people on his show with all sorts of different conspiratorial beliefs. I think he entertained it as an idea, but I don't think he's ever been like, I think the world is flat. I don't think he's ever definitively stated that.
But all of those companies are owned under one umbrella. One person controls them all. They don't let anybody explore Antarctica.
Will be a fucking international headline in about 5 minutes. Australian Navy ship shoots it.
Facing our way. Bad boys, shield.
Is it?
The turret is turning our way.
The turret's turning at us.
Boy, we should hide Adrian in case they think we're trying to...
Dramatic Cuttlefish says, that's just a lie. I went on a trip all the way into the Ross Sea and along the Ross ice shelf in the 90s on a converted Russian icebreaker. Yeah, flat earthers' beliefs are predicated on lying to other people and each other constantly to maintain their worldview. Gitara with 50 bits says, I've said this before, but as someone who lives beyond the ice wall, if we wanted you innies out here with us, we would have invited you out here ages ago. I'm just surprised your ancestors survived the reign of Scorpzilla or those lizard folk that keep crawling from the center of our hollow world. It's always good to hear an outie perspective.
Going that way.
We're just traversing.
Is there a helicopter coming at us now?
Are we late? I don't know. What
Just travel, just go.
Just go.
Send out the chopper.
That's a drone.
Is it?
That's unreal.
You wonder if flat earthers believe in aliens? Typically they don't, because most of them don't believe in space. So they don't believe in aliens. They will usually either claim that aliens are a psyop created by the government in order to keep power, or they believe that aliens are demons.
When people say, why the lie? One of the main answers is they're hiding more land.
What if we can truly become free? The whole reason for this is because of more land. Because think about it, if there's more real estate, if there's...
What are their opinions on the moon? They don't believe that the moon is a physical object. They think it's a light. They think it's just a non-corporeal light.
More resources, natural resources, if there's more food for our starving children, if there's more space, more room for us to get away from the child sex trafficking, if there's places where we can go and other civilizations we can be a part of, where they don't charge you for water, they don't charge you for free energy, they don't charge you for property taxes. What if there is more land?
Nobody can go explore Antarctica.
It's so interesting that he thinks there's just a secret utopia out there that happens to follow all of his particular political beliefs.
Period. Because if humanity found out there's more land, then the heliocentric theory is gone. They can't start adding more continents on the bottom of a ball. It's just, they wanted it silenced right away.
Orion Cooper with the $2 super chat says the boat was in a naval exercise near Tasmania. Oh, that's not a smart thing to do, to get in the middle of a military exercise.
There is evidence out there through old maps, namely the 1,000-year-old Japanese Kawabashi map, which shows continents and lands out.
Oh yeah, this was made up. I've looked this up before. Shoot, I don't remember the specifics. But this isn't actually a map made centuries ago. This is a forgery that they just, like, put together and put in the newspaper. I don't know if you guys know this, but especially back in the day, they'd just make shit up to put in the newspaper sometimes. So, this is one of those.
Words, Lee, of what they call the ice shelf or the ice wall.
So why are they teaching the globe model? Well, you see, the globe is a container, and it's a container of all the known land. The Jesuits and the Freemasons, they needed a new model because they wanted a new world order.
Because right now on a ball or in a snow globe, there's only 7 continents. That's all there is. So everything is very limited. We have a limited supply.
Resources are very scarce because the Earth is a globe, right? It's cut off. Everything's cut off. If you open it up and there is more land, then there's plenty of resources. More land means more resources. Well, that's huge if they're hiding something like that. There's a scene in The Truman Show.
The argument basically seems right now to be, I would like there to be more land, and it would be great if there was more land because I could go there, so they must have more land that they're hiding from us. Doesn't exactly follow, but that seems to be the thought processes. It would be great if this was true, and I want this, and I hate the powers that be, so they must be hiding it from me.
Where Truman is like, I want to be an explorer when I get older.
I like to be an explorer, like the Great Magellan.
Oh, well, you're too late. There's really nothing left to explore.
Imagine if there's like all these beautiful places to explore still, and finding out that there's all this land, it just opens up the door for discovery again.
Have you ever heard of the eyewitness testimony written in the books, The Iron Republic, The Smoky God, Worlds Beyond the Poles?
These look very self-published.
In the late 1800s, there was a series of articles written in Florida Magazine about a politician that was tired of what was going on here, got a big ship and a crew, was exploring Antarctica, and he found a passageway through, and he popped out into the ocean, was lost for about a month. Finally, they found land with a city, and they pulled up, and it was a very advanced, quite different
Remember what I said about old newspapers making shit up?
civilization, and a very friendly. And
I shouldn't just say making shit up. Let me put this, not necessarily out of whole cloth. Many of them would have crackpots come to them and tell them stories, and they would print them without skepticism, without further investigation. There's a similar story from, I think, California somewhere in the early 1900s, where they, some crackpot was telling a story about underground reptilians and stuff, and they printed that.
He stayed there, and he writes about all the experiences he had there. In the late 1800s, they were talking about more land beyond Antarctica.
Remember, the word extraterrestrial means extra land. They're telling you that there's more land in here, but
That's not what extraterrestrial actually means, though, colloquially. You could take a very literalist interpretation of the specific words that make it up, but that's not what people mean when they say extraterrestrial. They mean people off the planet, or aliens off the planet.
Don't talk about.
There could be more land in some of the oceans where it's just all blue on the map. Nobody knows. You're not cruising around on big ships or flying over it on planes and looking, you know, nobody's out there charting anything.
Have you heard of such a thing as no-fly zones? For instance, you can't fly in certain areas near the Arctic Circle or the Antarctic Circle. The reasons being is because there are lands there that we're not supposed to know about. They don't want those.
Or it's also incredibly dangerous and they don't want people to get stuck out there and crash their goddamn airplanes in the ocean or near the Arctic where they'll fucking die. Gitara with 50 bits says, I'm kind of crashing out about how the bananas people were adjacent to right. Turns out, no. Turns out all rich PDF files, social parasites directing everything for blah, blah, blah. The fact that the vast majority of them are so dumb, I'm 300% more ableist now. Anyway, turns out anyone can do or be anything, so I'm using my VA benefits to become a pilot. Silver linings. Crackpots were not right. I am so sick of this fucking rhetoric. That was Peeplord, I'm sorry. They were not right. I cannot, none of the details of Pizzagate or Q were anything about the Epstein files. I'm so tired of this fucking talking point. Conspiracy theorists were never right. Oh my god. Anyway, Chitara says, real talk though, even if there was an ice wall and more land beyond it, why would these fellas have any claim to it? And do they have the means to develop that land? Or are they assuming there are civilizations out there? And if they are, who's to say the folks out there aren't worse off than we are inside the ice wall? In fact, they may do the same thing and go, oh wow, look at all this land we didn't know about. It's wishful thinking. They have a fantasy of claiming their, like, New West. They have a, what's the word, like a settler fantasy, and they think that this worldview allows them to indulge in it. They think that would be good, so they believe it's true, because they want it to be true.
Lands to be discovered.
All these corrupt systems that are stealing money from us, kidnapping our children, just doing horrible things, they rely upon the cattle staying on the ranch, the slaves on the plantation. That's why Flat Earth is the most important knowledge we can obtain. It's because there is more land.
Don't look at us and say, go prove it. They won't allow us to go prove it. We're not the lazy.
Again, the final experiment has happened after this. You can go to Antarctica. Go do it.
Ones here. We're being restricted from going to prove this to you. So because of that, of course we're going to speculate. It's a red flag. If that's not a red flag to you, I don't know what is. They won't allow.
Trey says there's a large degree of overlap between these kinds of people and the kind of people who want to live in a post-apocalyptic society. They view the current systems in place as too deeply entrenched to escape, so they desire either a hard reset button in the form of a collapse of the global cabal, leading to a new social order, or a new world order post-nuclear holocaust, or some other devastating event. And Peoplord says, we found a button, folks, let's press it hard. No, I'm not reading that. I don't think it's funny.
Allow us to go. Allow us to go. If we go and there's nothing there, I'll admit I'm wrong.
Sorry, I'm just real annoyed at how the Epstein files stuff have led to a rise in conspiracy theory stuff. The waters have been completely muddied by all the conspiracy theorists jumping in on this shit and acting as though they were right, or other idiots who don't even know what conspiracy theorists actually believe saying conspiracy theorists were right. Now a bunch of conspiracy theories are getting thrown in with real things from the Epstein files. People talking about them fucking cooking babies and shit. No. My God, people are deranged.
But all signs point that they're hiding more land.
The signal-to-noise ratio is fucked for the Epstein files at this point because of conspiracy theories, and it's going to make it more difficult, nigh impossible, for people to take it seriously and actually do anything about it at any point. So I'm just not cool with it.
You have to have permission to do everything. You have to have permission to marry the love of your life.
You don't need permission to do it if you just want a religious ceremony. If you want to have a civil marriage, then yes, but they're not going to say no to you unless one of you is like a minor or something, which you shouldn't be doing anyway.
You have to have permission to travel down the road when we have the inalienable right to travel from point A to point B.
Oh no, he's a sovereign citizen!
You people think you're free? You're not free. You're free-range chickens. That's what you are. You're free-range chickens held in an area. You're not allowed to go past it. If not, you go to jail or you get shot.
I want to point out that there's no point in human history it's been easier to travel further than most human beings ever used to travel in their entire lifetimes. Just pointing out, like, I know that money is an issue and that's a constraining factor for the vast majority of people, but by and large, it has never been easier to travel further away than most people in human history ever traveled. A lot of people in history lived in the same town their whole life and never left, or maybe they went on to the next town over occasionally. The idea that you are more constrained right now is insane. Peoplord says, okay, true, my bad, but can I say T sucked B's D? Because I'm gonna. I don't think that's true, but you could say it, I guess.
Stay on the plantation, do what you're supposed to do, pay your taxes, and shut up.
right?
Well, if there is more land, and I sincerely believe that there is, then that's the perfect reason to lie to everybody. And it's not just about hiding a place for more resources and where else we can go and dig for gas and gold. It's not about that. They're hiding freedom. They know that as soon as we all find out that there's another place to go without dictatorship, that we'd be gone.
There's endless amounts of everything, and there's so much more land out there.
You think any of these people know how to dig a well?
And there's many places.
Or to hunt for food, like, regularly, and start their own farm?
To explore. And
I just kind of, like, part of me wishes I could open, like, a simulation and have these people in the simulation find new lands and then them just go and then do terribly because they don't understand how difficult it is to start a new civilization.
And they just want to keep us here in the middle of the pond, stuck here thinking that this is all there is.
What happens to the price of gold and all natural resources if there's more land? Gold can't go to $1 an ounce. Gasoline can't go to 20 cents a gallon. We can all have, you know...
The hypothetical of there being more resources out there doesn't inherently mean that the price is going to go down right now of the resources that exist, because it costs money to go and find those resources and to procure them. Just the idea, oh, there's more land, that wouldn't mean, oh my god, gold prices have crashed. You would have to go and spend money to find it and mine it, and it would become part of the total, you know, resources. But I don't understand how he thinks this works. Tea Time Tea says, these people just want to be cult leaders, but they aren't charismatic enough. And Ultra Undying says, hey Hannah, laundry day, but I'm here. Nice.
Thousands of acres of land.
I hope you're wearing something comfy for laundry day.
To ourselves, the whole system crumbles. The entire system crumbles. Period.
On the other hand, we have the North, which is also off limits.
I went on my first official trip. I was going with my father and my grandpa Sinclair up to the North Pole. It was a very glamorous destination. I figured I was finally going to be let into the reason for the existence of this high-security Arctic base. That was exactly right. We drove slowly through and past the buildings on a special top-secret mission. And that's when I understood just how powerful and wonderful my father was.
The North Pole is a biggie. It's always been in my mind. I've juggled with the idea, is there hidden land? Could they have possibly hidden a continent in the Arctic Ocean, which is seemingly an ocean? They could hide land there. Many, many old maps will show you the Hyperborean, 4 continents.
That wasn't a movie. That was at Justin Trudeau's father's funeral.
And
we've watched that whole clip at some point. I don't remember what he says next, but it's definitely out of context.
in the center, Axis Mundi. And I think that's what's there. I think there is Mount Meru. And I think that gives off an acoustic device.
There's definitely something special going on up there. And if you just think about that long enough, why do compasses point north? I mean, that's really...
Compasses don't point north. They point north and south. They align themselves with the magnetic polarity of the Earth. So every north-pointing compass also points south. We just paint the north one red because you're normally doing north.
Wild in itself. What if we all took our compasses out and just followed them until it stops?
A compass will always point north, towards the magnetic north. There's some kind of force or some type of energy.
You actually need different compasses in the southern hemisphere, I think, because you're closer to the South Pole. So no.
Frequency vibration that's pulling that needle to the north.
It's crazy to think that all compasses are pointing north to the North Pole. No compass points south. There is
all compasses point south and north. All compasses point south and north.
no South Pole. No compass that's going to be, oh, go south. No, it's come past. Come to the north. There's something there.
Compass?
I think we could all agree.
Does he think that's the etymology of the word?
There's something there. And it's crazy that they cover it up. They've covered it up for so long.
There's ancient civilizations, the Nordics. There's people have talked about, you know, the Rupert Nigra, the Mount Meru, the giant magnetic mountain at the center.
An entire magnetic mass or a mountain that is strong enough to make everybody's compass point north.
When I was a kid in school, they showed us a National Geographic video of the guys that were getting to the North Pole, and they just basically made it look so horrible and miserable and dark and cold that no kid ever in his life would go, hey, I want to go to the North Pole.
So if you...
I mean, it is cold and miserable. That's why you need a guide and very heavy clothing.
Watch any documentary...
Again, it's the Arctic. What do these people not understand?
About the North Pole or anybody venturing to the North Pole, all you're gonna find is some dude mobbing on an ice sheet, and he's got a little device in his hand. He's like, 3, 2, 1, North Pole. And that's not
Yeah? What do you think it is?
the North Pole, man. That's bullshit.
That's not the North Pole. That's bullshit. Because it wasn't impressive enough for you? I'm sorry Santa's workshop isn't there. I'm sorry you don't get to see the Fortress of Solitude. It's the Arctic. There's not a lot of shit there other than bears. What do you want?
I just don't know what this is.
Are these the only people who remember the Dark Tower movie?
It's a map. My father showed me a map like this once. Inside the circle is your world and my world. Many others. No one knows how many. The Dark Tower stands at the center of all things. And it stood there from the beginning of time.
I'm a little worried about this clip. Hurry up and be done with the clip.
Powerful energy.
Oh god, do they think the Aurora Borealis is like magic or something?
I think that there's possibly a North Pole hole, part of the electromagnetic torus, which gives off a green light, which you see as the Northern Lights.
We already have a real explanation for the Northern Lights. You can't just make shit up.
Pole is the center of the Earth. It is a hyperbola. Because we live in a toroidal field solar system, there must be a plane of inertia intersecting it in the middle, and there must be a hyperbola, hourglass, in the middle. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, it calls this Mount Meru. And why are we not allowed to go anywhere near there? Well, simply because you cannot go there. It is a magnetic toroidal hyperbola. Therefore, there is no way that you can fly anywhere near the North Pole in the center of the Earth.
Admiral Richard Byrd said he found more land, you know, in the north as well as the south. There's a book called The Smoky God of a father and son that ended up finding more land in a race of giants with technology beyond your wildest imagination. Cartographers have charted, you know, maps with land in the center, you know, where all compasses point.
Those maps are from before anyone had actually gone to the Arctic. They were filling in with mythological, like, things or stuff people had already put on other maps. There also aren't sea monsters in the oceans just because they used to draw them on maps.
There's just a lot of evidence pointing to more land, so yeah, 100%, I would put my life on it if there's more land at the north. It's just as heavily guarded.
The evidence is they'd be devastated if it wasn't true.
It is the south.
Can't like go check the north and yeah, let me go check. I'll take some pictures and videos and come back. You're not even gonna get that close. You're gonna be turned around, the same as the south.
All the way up until the 1600s, they had 4 land masses around the North Pole region. And right after the 1600s is when it slowly started disappearing until finally it was all gone. And you can verify this.
Yeah, at some point we actually explored there. and they filled in correct information instead of stuff someone made up.
Yourself, if you just go back before the 1600s and look at maps of all sorts, you'll see these land masses on each one, and then sure thing, these land masses just...
It is a little funny that if you show these people pictures of the Earth from space, they'll be like, that's CGI! But now they're like, look at this old map that someone drew with their hand. That's real.
started being deleted from history. So what are they hiding at the North Pole?
If we sit back and observe...
Chitara with 50 bits says, oh fuck, you guys know about the Dark Tower? That's where we keep the good cheese and wine. The lights you folks call the Northern Lights are caused by our high mage RGB gaming PC at the top of the tower.
All of this evidence, this eyewitness testimony, the verdict would come back guilty. It would come back guilty.
Again, most people aren't flat earthers, so I disagree with you. The evidence is not compelling to the vast majority of people.
Okay. You are moving 1,000 miles an hour as Earth rotates. You are moving...
Oh, is it the time in the documentary where they're gonna shit on Neil deGrasse Tyson because they hate him?
Moving 18 miles per second in orbit around the sun, and you don't feel any of that.
There are reasons to dislike, I almost keep wanting to call him Neil Patrick Harris. Neil deGrasse Tyson, you don't have to like the guy. He's kind of a smarmy fuck, and I've heard people who have met him think he's kind of a dick. But, like, the fact that he's doing science communication, not a reason to hate him.
Okay.
Neil Patrick Harris is also horrible. Yeah, the Amy Winehouse thing was not good. And he's in, oh god, he's in ads for gambling apps now. I keep seeing him. I've been watching Tubi, and I get tons of ads for, like, gambling apps, and he's in one quite prominently. Ugh.
Okay. You don't feel anything. If it's trying to fling you off the Earth, okay, but the force...
What did Neil Patrick Harris do? Right after Amy Winehouse died, he had a party, like a Halloween party, and there was like a cake or something that was like her rotting corpse. Very not tasteful. Like, you don't need to, I'm not telling you you need to feel bad for Amy Winehouse, but specifically to, like, make fun of her death that had just happened was disgusting. Especially because, like, it was a celebrity party. Some of those people might have known her. It's just not okay.
Of gravity is resisting back.
And again, he's taking money from gambling apps now, which I think is unacceptable. The gambling situation in this country is like, the problem is growing under the surface. And I'm telling you, this is going to be so bad when, like, kids and teens and young adults who are so used to all these gambling apps growing up and having gambling addictions, this is going to be such a public health crisis, people with gambling addictions. It's so bad.
By what force is it trying to fling you off? That upward centrifugal force subtracts from the gravitational force that the Earth...
He's explaining science, but they put silly music over it, so you have to think he's wrong.
...is trying to put on you. It subtracts. Okay. So, Chuck, what do you weigh here and now?
192 pounds. Yeah.
I'll give you the 190 pounds, okay?
Okay.
So if you do the math, you run to Ecuador, because we're in the Western Hemisphere, so let's stay there. You run to Ecuador, you will not be 190 pounds. You'll be like 185 pounds.
What?
That's how significant it is.
That's
if I did my math correct, and I think I did, there are pounds less that you weigh for living on the equator than for living anywhere else, simply because the spinning Earth is trying to fling you off.
Nice.
Yes. Yes.
If the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour in a curved trajectory, we're dropping at a rate of miles per minute, but somehow none of that inertia affects these rocks here.
Yes, because it's angular momentum. It's only going 15 degrees per hour, which is not very fast. That's one rotation per day. Imagine you're sitting on a merry-go-round, and it makes one rotation every 24 hours. Do you think you'd be able to feel it moving? No.
Which are perfectly balanced.
The fact is, the Earth is stationary, and that is scientific, not pseudoscience. In 1879, George Airy, astronomer royal for 49 years, who did a telescope experiment and proved that the Earth was stationary. Then we have
Parallax, also known as Rowbotham, who carried out an experiment in the late 1800s on the...
Samuel Rowbotham was a flat earther that wrote Zetetic Astronomy, which is the sort of foundational text of a lot of flat earthers.
Bedford Levels experiment.
That's where they get a lot of their bad arguments.
Where he went at a distance...
And an incorrect formula for curvature.
6 miles, which should have showed up some sort of curvature of around 16 foot. No curvature was seen at all.
Then we have Michelson, Morley and Sagnac in the early 1900s with their interferometers using light instead of telescopes this time. And with their interferometer experiments, they proved that the ether over the Earth, the field, is moving and the Earth is stationary.
That's the opposite of what... See, again, flat eartherism is dependent upon lying. The Michelson-Morley experiment demonstrated that the luminiferous aether doesn't exist. They're saying that it proved that it moves around... It proved that it doesn't exist. That is like the main takeaway from that very famous experiment. And they're just lying about what they found.
We also had Michelson-Gale. They did an experiment in the 1930s and proved that the Earth is stationary.
One of the greatest science experiments of all time, in my opinion, is from Marconi. Marconi, in 1901, set up transmitters to send radio waves, like signals, wireless signals across the ocean.
This is a big flat earther argument, too. They say, how does it travel beyond the curve? You can bounce radio waves basically off the, I don't know what it is the ionosphere? I don't know what it is. It bounces off something and you can send radio waves over the curvature of the Earth.
Atlantic Ocean, okay? So he has one set up in Europe and one set up in Canada, okay? And they're sending signals. I think the letter S was the first one. Boom. And it worked. Almost 2,000 miles across the ocean, they got the signal. There's no curvature. You're talking about 600 miles of curvature between the 2 points. But it worked. Because
Are they even going to bring up the ionosphere thing, or are they just going to completely ignore the actual scientific explanation in order to bolster their argument? Very dishonest.
Water's level? I don't even know if he was trying to talk about that at the time. It was just more about his technology that he was coming out with. And have you learned about that in school? No.
Then we
I actually think I do remember learning about that in school.
Have Pierluigi Gina.
Of course not flat Earth, but the ionosphere thing. I think that's when I first heard about it.
A colleague of Marconi. And before he died, he showed people in his laboratory how the Earth is stationary. You can go to my channel, Mr. Astrotheology, and you can see videos of Mr. Pierluigi Igina proving in his laboratory with strobe lights how you can prove quite easily that the Earth is stationary.
Every scientific experiment throughout time looking for axial rotation or curvature has proven the opposite. They don't.
That's objectively untrue. This guy has made a ton of money off Flat Earth, by the way. He's the guy that has the Flat Earth app that Flat Earthers use, and he's made over $600,000 off of it, if you're curious. He has made over $600,000, and that's probably an outdated figure at this point. So he has every incentive to lie about Flat Earth because it's built his entire career.
Teach this in schools. Any observation, when you go outside on a calm morning, you can see a perfectly glass lake. And your senses will tell you that, nothing is moving.
You are on the thing that is moving. If you're on an airplane and it's traveling at consistent speed and you're not accelerating, you don't feel it. You don't feel motion, you feel acceleration.
Stationary Earthers We have science, real science, on our side, and the globies have pseudoscience.
It's weird that no scientists agree with you then.
In fact, all they have is Einstein saying, I have come to believe that no optical experiment can prove that the Earth is moving. And yet, the Earth is moving.
Science!
Yeah, Albert Einstein. I always recommend people go watch Albert Einstein in his interviews. He's reading cue cards. He's reading notes.
Yes, a lot of people read notes when they're giving speeches. This is before teleprompters, too. Wait, so they're trying to say Einstein is secretly an idiot because he used cue cards. What? Or not cue cards, like note cards. Good lord.
That someone handed him.
Have they ever given a speech before?
Like people on TV nowadays.
There is no optical experiment ever been conducted that can prove that the Earth is
And yes, he was not a native English speaker.
moving.
The Earth is spinning at 1,040 miles an hour. You can't feel it. You can't measure it. You can't observe it. You can't repeat it. But trust us.
You can view it. Do you want to see stuff from the International Space Station? You can look at it go if you want. In fairness, this motion is mostly from the ISS moving, but you can see the Earth from space. You can do that right now. Of course, they would call it CG, because you know how they are.
There's not one experiment that shows the Earth is spinning or moving whatsoever. There is, however, an experiment that was proven.
You could get a ring laser gyroscope like that other flat earther did that showed the Earth was spinning at 15 degrees per hour. Lots of science hands-on museums have those pendulums that are free-swinging that demonstrate the rotation of the Earth as well.
And behind the curve.
Bob Nodell was talking about the ring laser gyro.
Oh, they're going to talk about it. They're going to talk. Well, how are they going to say that this is false?
That there is a apparent 15 degrees drift throughout most of the day.
Is when we turned on that gyroscope, we found that we were picking up a drift.
A 15
degree per hour drift.
And
Thanks, Bob.
This was taken out of context. It was...
This was taken out of context? What context would change that? He just said it. He said the whole thing. He said the ring laser gyroscope that they had bought is showing that the Earth is spinning at 15 degrees per hour. That's the context. Like, what's missing?
Later,
that he disagreed with the result? That's irrelevant. His experiment showed that, whether or not he wanted to agree with it or not.
the experiment was done at a higher altitude and it showed a different rotation speed, which absolutely proves it's not the Earth that's moving, that it's the ether that is spinning above us.
Netflix.
Oh my God.
Is mainstream. Netflix is the alternative mainstream narrative. Netflix can't go against the grain. They'll lose their contract.
A documentary, like a mockumentary. I'm sure someone watched our movie and was like, whoever made this...
Spin a button.
And we move 5 trillion...
Hydrate.
694 million miles through space every year. Congratulations to you if you believe that. It's called education, indoctrination, and dumbing down.
I love that Universal Pictures logo with the plane flying around it. I think that's my favorite version of the Universal logo.
If you look back in history, you got Universal, their company. They started off with a logo with a globe in it, but it wasn't until like the 1920s that they actually had the motion one where it was a spinning globe. And they actually had an airplane in the early ones, like leaving a chemtrail that said Universal, which is kind of funny.
It's not a chemtrail. It's not a fucking chemtrail.
Nobody has been high enough to even see what it looked like. They were definitely trying to instill the image of
We still had maps. We had maps long before we went to space.
Globe in people's heads, because obviously early on in the movie industry, they were one of the most popular companies to make movies. So people were going to the theater and seeing this globe.
So they're showing you a globe before every single movie to program your mind.
Again, it's not... whenever they talk about this, they act like Universal makes most movies throughout history. Universal is one of the oldest still existing, like, classic studios, but they haven't made most movies. Most movies are not made by Universal Studios. Afghanistan, thanks for a 55-stream streak, says, Fifth.
They were showing this globe before they even went up there to see what it was. I think
How do they think people made maps? Surveyors are a thing. Surveyors are how we've had maps for the vast majority of human history. Ugh.
First man ever to go up and check. This Picard going up there. I mean, that's a story we're not taught in school.
From the practical point of view, Professor Picard's experiment is of the highest possible importance.
These timelines, these dates, these are facts.
We got August Picard coming out in the 1930s in an actual publication by a science journal saying that the Earth looks like a flat disk with an upturned edge.
Besides Universal programming you had Walt.
He said it looked like that. He didn't say the Earth was flat.
Walt Disney programming you with space documentaries for almost 15 years straight.
Some pretty crazy propaganda in the 1950s. There was one called Man in Space. He's talking about taking men to the moon in a...
Walt Disney was very into futurism stuff. He was like an ultra-capitalist that believed that capitalism and science would lead us into a greater future. He also had obsessions with building the city of the future, which never really came to fruition. That was his original plan for Epcot, was to make it a city that people actually lived in. But then it just turned into the worst Walt Disney park.
Rocket. And then if we cruise on, we got Richard E. Byrd. He goes on Longines chronoscope, and he's sitting down and he's telling people...
Strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being.
Shortly after Richard E. Byrd did that...
He's talking about Antarctica, because Antarctica is incredibly large. There's just not a lot to do there, because again... frozen desert.
Interview, they put the Antarctic Treaty in place, and then 1 year later, NASA is established.
Almost 0 hour.
Please don't make fun of the dead monkeys.
Cape Canaveral, and enlarged 16mm pictures show a monkey specially trained and conditioned for voyaging in space. 2 monkeys had been selected for the job. They called them Abel and Baker, A and B, of course. In fact, the monkeys came down safely near Antigua. Reported none the worse, after blazing the trail for human space travel.
They come in and they're the gatekeepers for your mind. Like, they're making sure that people think that they live on a spinning ball, and that's their sole purpose, that it has always been their sole purpose.
That is the magic of engineering. I would wear a mask on my face in a nanosecond, but unfortunately we lost the technology.
It can take days, even weeks, to produce just a single image. The dazzling final results, enough to keep us all dreaming.
Phoenix says, remember that episode of Quantum Leap with the chimps? I have no point other than that was funny that Sam was in a diaper. Yeah, 5th season Quantum Leap got really desperate. In the 5th season, he leapt into a chimp, someone from the Civil War, I believe, a vampire, and Elvis Presley. I think that was all 5th season. Was Dr. Ruth season 5 or was that season 4? Either way, they were really desperate for ratings in season 5.
NASA is
I love Quantum Leap. It's one of my favorite shows.
hiding the frickin' flatness of the Earth.
No, I don't think that was the season where he was a pregnant lady. I think that was an earlier season.
Why? It's okay to say, I have a fisheye lens, right? Because, yeah, fisheye lenses are useful. You know, you get more, in architecture or, realtors use them. But when you're doing it too much and you're not really coming out and saying why, questions build up.
A fisheye lens was invented. So these space agencies had a heads up already. And the fisheye lens was originally, I think, $27,000 to purchase. And this is in 1923. I mean, today that's about, what, 100 grand, 200 grand equivalent in cost?
Oh, it'd be more than that. 1923, $27,000. Inflation calculator. What was that, 27,000 in 1923? $27,000. I'm gonna guess 250,000. Oh, even more, $500,000.
And people would tell
Hydrate.
me, Hippler, I'll give you that. NASA is a lying government entity, right? But what about Red Bull? Red Bull is just an energy drink. And I saw Felix Baumgartner jump out of a space capsule. Flat Earthers did a great job of debunking that. Of course it's a fisheye lens. It's not even a question.
It is a fisheye lens. Again, they're trying to make it look cool for an advertisement. They're an energy drink company sponsoring this jump to sell you energy drinks. So I'd agree that they were intentionally being deceptive to make it look cooler for an advertisement. They're a for-profit company. I don't expect them to tell the truth, because for-profit companies lie all the time.
What most people don't know is that Neil deGrasse Tyson, the science priest of modern day.
Again, I don't even think he's that popular anymore. His most popular era was probably like 2010 to 2014, something like that, whenever he did the remake of Cosmos.
That everybody loves and they listen to him. Oh, he's so smart. Well, he is a smart man in the sense of he knows that we debunk the shit out of that.
And that dude who jumped out of a perfectly good balloon, Felix Baumgartner, edge of space jump. Now, I don't. It's he wants to. I don't have a problem if he does it, but the honesty of it would greatly diminish what I think people thought he was actually doing. And not only that, they made sure to photograph him standing there with a really wide-angle lens, which curves horizontal lines. So in the photo, you see this curvature of Earth's surface, and he said, "Wow, he's in space. Look at that." No, he's not. At that height, you don't see the curvature of the Earth. You just don't. That stuff is flat.
So we put so much pressure on Neil deGrasse Tyson to come clean. He had to. We exposed Felix Baumgartner. That's a complete...
You didn't... Again, that's not a science experiment. This is like saying you debunked the X Games. Like, it's not a scientific thing. It was an ad for Red Bull.
Fisheye lens, there's no curvature at all on this Earth, let alone they're trying to sell it as 23 miles up, there's curvature. Even though people will sit there and swear they saw curvature out of an airplane 10 miles high. Yeah, okay. So your priest Neil deGrasse Tyson admits 23 miles up, no curve. How do you feel about that? All right, maybe you say that's no big deal. Okay. Even though Felix Baumgartner himself said he could see the curvature of the Earth.
It's almost overwhelming.
Again, he's working for the company, and frankly, he might have been mistaken. He might have looked and maybe he thought he saw it. I don't know. But the fact that the Earth is round is not predicated on a Red Bull-sponsored guy saying things. This is such a weird cul-de-sac for them to go down that has nothing to do with the scientific understanding of the Earth.
When you're standing there in a pressure suit, the only thing that you hear is yourself breathing. You can see the curvature of the Earth. You can see the sky is totally black. You can see the curvature of the Earth. You can see the curvature of the Earth.
You can see the curvature of the Earth.
That's 120,000 feet, 4 times higher than most passenger planes fly.
So that should make you go, right away, what's going on here? Who's lying, right?
They're selling energy.
But you don't think there's an agenda here? You don't think people are lying here?
I think the agenda is to make you want to drink Red Bull.
Fast forwarding to recently, Richard Branson, his ugly ass, Mr. Billionaire himself.
Officially the first billionaire to travel to space, so Richard Branson.
So you go 63 miles up, you would all probably assume that, of course, you could see this giant curve of Earth. You're 63 miles up. Holy
Mimosaur, thanks for gifting 10 tier 1 subs.
shit. Richard Branson supposedly goes up 63 miles, even though it's nothing but fisheye lens footage. We expose that. Here comes Neil deGrasse Tyson again. Damage control time.
Oh, by the way, you didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you. Do you know how high up above the Earth he was?
No.
So we take a
63 miles.
Well, yeah, tell you right. So take a schoolroom globe, and that's how high above it is he? So he's about 2 millimeters above the surface of a schoolroom globe. So nobody has seen the curvature of the Earth from that height. I just want to make that clear.
You can't see the curve out.
Why are they shitting on Neil deGrasse Tyson when he's literally also pointing out the fisheye lens? Like, he's also explaining that you can't see the curvature at that height and that it's a fisheye lens. Shouldn't you be happy about that? I don't understand.
Of an airplane, right? 10 miles. You agree? I hope you agree so far. Okay. So 10 miles up, no curve. Red Bull 23 miles up, no curve. Branson 63 miles up, no curve. So where is this curve at that you...
We've been further than that. We've been to the fucking moon. It's a gradual thing that you would see. We've been much further than 63 miles up. I don't know the exact point when it becomes most obvious that there's a curvature to the Earth, but it happens eventually. We know that because we've been further than 63 miles up. We've been much further. There's photographs of an entire half of the Earth. There's photographs of Earth from the moon.
You swear by. Because if you live on a ball, I don't care how big the ball is, it could be 4 times the size of what they told us, you would still see a physical curve at some point. That's what...
At some point you do.
The horizon...
You are literally only talking about very, 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 very low flights relative to, you know, actual space travel.
It's supposed to be. That's how the sun is going. I mean, there's a curve of the Earth. All these theories involved with the curve of the Earth get thrown out the window.
That's what happens with a new company.
This is the fiction section. Fiction means it's a made-up story. Oh, hey, Elmo.
This library has a globe and it's above a fiction sign. They're secretly telling us the truth via Sesame Street.
I bet we can find your Galactic Gale comic book here. Oh, boy, Elmo, hope so.
We all know who our enemies are. They are called the globalists, with their false idol that they give children on the teachers' table at kindergarten the false globe of the global agenda.
People are just deceived. I mean, I grew up from kindergarten. There's a globe. My kids, you know, they graduated from kindergarten and it was a freaking globe. They gave them a globe at graduation to take home like an inflatable beach ball. And I was looking at that thing going, oh my God.
We are taught.
I don't think flat earthers ever talk about this. Am I the only one that thought globes were really cool as a kid? I think that's one of the reasons you often see globes, because kids think they're cool. You're just learning about the world. You're barely, like, have become sentient in the last, I don't even know how many years. And all of a sudden, you're getting taught about this world around you, and then they show you this thing, and they're like, this is the whole thing we live on. It's fascinating when you're a kid, at least for me. I thought it was really cool.
That the Earth is a ball before we can talk. In school, there's a globe.
Did I get to sit in a giant inflatable one? I did not.
In the class, one of the first worksheets we get.
And that's true, yeah. Classrooms usually have flat maps, too. The Mercator projection, usually.
Is a sheet on the orbits of the planets and the sun. And I actually still remember that sheet. I did it, I got it right, I was so proud of myself. Sesame Street has astronauts on, Disney. It's all globe programming. So your entire world belief is around this.
If you think about it, they've gotten us at a very, very young age.
They also do cowboy episodes. Does that mean cowboys were fake? You know what I mean? Like, there are certain tropes in cartoons and media for kids. One of them might be going to space. One of them might be getting trapped on a deserted island. One of them might be getting locked in a mall. I don't know. I'm just saying random plot things that you could put in episodes. The fact that space is one of many tropes that comes up in children's media doesn't mean it's fake. Otherwise, you'd have to say all the other tropes are also fake. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
The line. Before we have any critical thought, the capability of thinking for ourselves. They teach us lies from the very beginning, from Tooth Fairy, Santa, dinosaurs, you know.
Sorry, I really wasn't expecting that progression. I wish a T-Rex would visit me on Christmas.
With Santa, for instance, I mean, we're taught this lie, you better be good. We need you to stay in line and be good. Don't be naughty, be nice. You want to be on that nice list. Santa will come and bring you this material gifts.
Yes, it's a lie to manipulate children to be good and also have a magical Christmas thing. Yeah, it's a lie.
And then
adults lie to kids all the time. Does this guy not have kids? Adults lie to children all the time. I'm not saying that's good. I'm just saying it's true.
Fast forward, you find out Santa isn't real. For, 5, 6, 7 years, however long the lie went on for.
My parents used to tell me that putting on the internal light in the car was illegal.
You've been conditioned to certain...
And even then I'd be like, then why is it in the car? If it was illegal to turn this on, why is it in the car?
Way to act a certain way, so you'll fall.
It's not illegal to turn on the light in your car. If anyone never was corrected on that. That's just a lie parents tell because they're annoyed by their kid turning on the light in the car.
All in line. You'll do exactly what mommy and daddy tell you, what the teachers tell you. And when you realize that lie, it's subconsciously, you're taught at that point, it's okay to lie. It's okay to lie. It's okay to accept lies. It's okay for people to lie to you. It's okay for you to lie.
That's not really what I took away from the Santa Claus thing, to be honest.
So the whole world is...
At no point did I learn about Santa and then think it's okay to lie about everything all the time. It was pretty clear at the age where I learned it, like, okay, this is like a special thing that you do for children, and this is a very special circumstance. Same thing with, like, Tooth Fairy and stuff.
It's a fucking liar. Everyone's a fucking liar now because they were taught at a very young age it's okay to lie. They get you with these lies of Tooth Fairy and Santa at a young age, so when you're an adult, you can't tell the difference between a lie and reality.
And your high school Spanish teacher knew someone who told their kids it was illegal to talk in the car? That's terrible. That's actively not okay.
When you do find out...
That just sounds like someone who hates their child and shouldn't have had them.
It's possibly a lie. Oh, it's okay. You're subtle. You're you're passive. You allow the lie because you're used to, it's okay to lie. You've been conditioned your entire life. It's okay to lie. It's okay to be lied to. So when the lie comes out, people are just like, okay, whatever.
I don't think anyone in society generally takes the approach that they think it's okay to lie to others and to be lied to. That is not a common belief at all.
Got to turn on my Fox News. Got to go
like,
to the bar. Got to go watch.
Sociopaths and psychopaths and stuff, but like, that's not a general thought process for people.
My football. Give them bread and circuses, and they will never revolt.
When people hear about Flat Earth, when I talk to them about it, they think it's the dumbest thing ever. They think I'm uneducated. They don't realize that they don't know what they're talking about. And people say, well, what about ships over the horizon? You explain that. What about sunsets? You explain that. What about seasons? You explain that. And then they throw their...
All of the Flat Earth explanations for those things are incorrect. I guess I don't need to get into specifics because he didn't. But yeah, we've covered those on other streams, and all of their explanations are incorrect or lies.
Hands up, they go, well, why does it matter? What difference does it make? I still have to go to work tomorrow. That's right where they want you. They want you working in your slave job. They want you obeying orders, doing what you're told, and living paycheck to paycheck, and just not realizing where you are. The truth is, we're not spinning out of control, lost in space, where an asteroid...
We have another orbiting class consciousness moment.
Take us out. They want us believing we're running out of fuel. They want us to believe we're running out of food, when anyone can go and get a seed, stick it into the ground, water will fall from the sky, and food will grow out of the ground. There is no shortage of water, food.
Reminder that he's not living paycheck to paycheck. Again, he's made over $500,000 from being a flat earther.
Space, every American family could have a half an acre in Texas and the rest of the country would be empty.
And that's just from the app. I don't know what other stuff he sells.
They're lying about everything.
You let your kids get raised and taught by other people that you don't know what they're learning.
What's their explanation for the ships disappearing? They think it reaches the vanishing point and that when you zoom in, you're able to see the whole thing.
Everybody's
Which is untrue. It still disappears from the bottom up. Sometimes ships do get to the vanishing point where you don't see them, but even when you zoom in on them, you can see that they're disappearing from the bottom up. They just tend to ignore that.
Connected. There is no harmony or anything going on with human beings. We're all scattered, disconnected, and pretty much what they're doing with teaching us this whole lie about the Earth being a ball, and you're flying through outer space, and dinosaurs used to roam the Earth, and if these powerful beings can get wiped out by a comet, then what are we gonna do if a comet comes? We're
meteor, not a comet.
Done.
So the heliocentric model not only manages to keep us all completely worthless floating amongst the stars in space, but it also keeps us in fear that we're either going to knock into something in the future, or there's going to be something that then bangs into us.
That's a really stupid fear to have. I'm just going to put it out there. Yeah, we're in space, and in theory, a meteor could hit us. But we would probably have a decent warning at this point. There are organizations that look out for stuff like that. But it's not really something you can control anyway, so I wouldn't really worry about it. It's not something to worry about at all.
Causes some sort of horrendous collision and we're all gonna die, or maybe, you know,
do they just like have severe anxiety about a meteor wiping humanity out and that's why they're a flat earther? Because that would be sad.
Cartoon satellite has found another planet where there could be like flesh-eating monsters on there, and it's, you know, some sort of crazy shit that they throw down your face and try and say, you know, this is, as well as everything else that you're scared of, keeping your house, keeping your health, keeping your family together, there's also a chance as well that some rock may fall from the sky and kill you tomorrow.
Another thing people don't know is that not only in 1920 did Rockefeller change all the textbooks and come up with his own agenda of what they
He personally wrote all the textbooks to say the Earth is round.
You to know, but there was a man named George Lemaitre. I felt like, you know, Einstein passed the torch to him or something. They were good friends, apparently, and George Lemaitre was a Catholic priest.
Oh, is he the guy that figured out the Big Bang stuff?
Yeah, a Catholic priest. In 1920, he said, hey, we came from a Big Bang. it's all about 1920 was a crazy year, huh?
Every year's a crazy year. Just a Peach with a $1 tip says, do the math and see curve if you do it right, and repeat it to see how many times you get the same answer. Also, it takes an acre for a family of 4 to have the veg for a year, and it may take 3 years to get to that point. Farming is hard.
1920, they said that we came from a big bang. We exploded from nothing. Well, how do you prove that? Well, no.
That's a complete misinterpretation of what the Big Bang says. It basically says as we look further and further back in time at the universe, everything comes to like a singularity. Everything kind of gets together, and over time it expanded and is continuing to expand.
You can't, but
hydrate.
That's what was stated. So here's this Catholic priest where, in my opinion, they knew that even though non-religious people knew the earth was flat and stationary.
Again, that was not a common belief in the 1920s. They're just lying about history. Maybe to themselves, I don't know.
They were trying to group, just call flat earthers at that time. They're flat earthers, they're all religious people. So let's bring forward a Catholic priest. Look, he's not a scientist. He's not government, he's a priest.
I mean, he was a scientist and also a priest. There are scientists that work for the Catholic Church. There are, like, astronomers and stuff.
He's Catholic. He's holy. This is brand new.
Is he aware that, like, in America, they hated Catholics in the 1920s? Like, it was controversial when JFK ran for president in, when was that? Like, the late 50s, early 60s? Because he was Catholic? America, like, hates Catholics.
New. This isn't thousands of years old. This isn't, the Big Bang's been around for thousands of years. Heliocentrism has been around
Does something to need to be thousands of years old for it to be true?
Thousands of years. No, they create fictional characters. Galileo, Copernicus. They create characters to support the new world.
Again, they're not fictional characters.
Order, their agenda. The way they change the entire school system and structure of what we know and all the information and knowledge that we obtain. If it's false, then yeah, they got their goal. A nation of workers, not thinkers. No one thinks.
What's the circumference of the globe?
I have no idea.
How fast is it spinning at the equator?
Don't know.
How fast is it orbiting the sun?
Cody?
Does Dave think that knowing those figures means he understands science better? Those are just numbers you can memorize.
You have glasses on. You should know this.
How fast is the sun moving?
Man, you're asking some questions I'm not ready to answer.
But see, this is the point. You guys laugh at flat Earth, but one, you don't know what flat Earth is, and worse is you don't even know what your own solar system is. They don't know their own model. You can ask them, what's the radius of the Earth? How was it found? What's the speed of the Earth around the sun? How fast is the Earth spinning at the equator? How fast is it chasing the sun? How many miles?
Like, those things are interesting, but it's not stuff most people necessarily need to know. And it doesn't make your beliefs more reasonable that they don't happen to know those numbers. It's weird that he even believes those numbers, considering he doesn't think the Earth is, like, round. So why does he even care? He thinks those numbers are made up.
Miles does it go a year? How far is the sun? Nobody, they don't know any of these things, but yet they defend this and they ridicule and make fun of flat earthers.
All the things that I was patronizing and condescending and going.
Steve with a Q says, this appears to be the published paper on discerning curvature at altitude. In summary, you could discern curvature at 35,000 feet, but just barely and only under ideal conditions. Any clouds, atmosphere, haze reduces the contrast of the horizon too much.
I was sloughing off, that's not worthy of me. They rose up to eye level. And I remember saying, boy, the world is flat. I'm looking it in the eye. I see further. I see wider.
Johnny says Eratosthenes calculated the circumference of the Earth within an order of magnitude in 200 BC. They think he's made up. Again, because anything that shows that they're wrong must be made up.
Clearer.
I settled on near infrared, like some of these cameras can be converted to near infrared, you know? So then I started taking photos, and since I was doing a lot of flying, I started going up, and boom. I was actually amazed to see the incredible flatness that you get from high altitude. Everywhere I looked, there was like clues that the Earth is flat.
You're in an airplane. You're too close to the Earth.
I was like, this is blowing my...
Like, you are barely off the surface of the Earth in an airplane. Big issue with flat earthers. They're not able to conceptualize how big the Earth is.
Everywhere I look, the Earth is flat.
If you zoom in close enough on any sphere, it looks flat.
And NASA is lying about the curvature, so I said, something is eerily wrong over here, man. When I saw across the Gulf,
I'm not muted.
right off the coast of Texas there in Louisiana, flying to Orlando, and I saw all the way out in the distance, and you could even see the rays of light at a different angle. That tripped me out. But if you really go up high, then you realize, oh my God, the Earth is extremely flat.
This would be impossible on a globe. There is no 8 inches per mile square.
That's the incorrect formula that they got from Samuel Rowbotham. That's for the curvature of a parabola, so they get wrong numbers all the time. And they love that formula because it tells them they should see curvature when they don't, so they get to say, aha, the Earth is flat. But again, it's the wrong formula, so they're just wrong about the findings they think they're supposed to see.
Equation for curvature of 8 inches per mile squared has been debunked over and over again. The flat earthers with their P900s and their P1000 cameras are constantly seeing things way off beyond the supposed curvature of Earth.
In fact,
again, that's not the formula for curvature
many
of a
tests
sphere over long distances.
Being done with lasers, cameras, filming mountain ranges 300, 400, 500, 600, 700 miles into the horizon, which are visible and shouldn't be visible if we were living on a globe. This is how much distance he covered with his camera, and he could see from here the rocky...
Oh, you're also in an airplane. You're not taking your altitude into... Oh my God, you're not taking your altitude into account. The higher your altitude is, the further you're gonna see, obviously.
Mountains.
So that's another factor that they're getting wrong. Oh God.
Here you go. There is no 8 inches per mile square.
Correct, that is the wrong formula.
There's no way you can see 500 miles on the other side of this ball. There's no buildings that are curving back.
What's the actual curvature number? I don't know off the top of my head. I think it involves trigonometry.
Backwards, if point
and I don't know how to do trigonometry.
Point B, you're on a ball, you know, they're not going to be flat up and down like on our flat Earth. They're going to be like this. There's no tilting. They've measured distances from the base of buildings to the top, level and flat.
People look out at the ocean and you see ships and stuff, and it appears like these ships and boats, they go down, and that is a huge factor as to why people think the Earth is round.
If you look at the ocean or a lake, it looks flat. Look at that. Look how straight and flat that horizon is. Looks flat, doesn't it? See, it looks like a table or a board. Now, once in a while, you might see mountains or hills, but those are just like little bumps on what looks like a flat Earth. As ships sail away, they don't disappear all at once. No, first, the bottom will disappear. See, the bottom of the ship is gone. Now we can see midway up, and then the whole thing disappears. So people realized that the world is curved. I mean, it's a big curve, but it's curved. That's what we call pseudoscience.
You could buy a camera now that zooms times 100, and you could zoom in on these ships and boats leaving your view, your human eyeballs view, pull out a camera and zoom in on it, and suddenly you're back. It's on top of a level surface, still cruising.
So the limit of your vision is where the sky meets the ground due to perspective. As they come together, that's the limit of your vision. That's called our horizon. The horizon is optical.
They'll ignore when you still can't see the bottom.
Super zoom camera,
which I've seen several videos where they pull it back into focus, but the bottom is still under the curvature. They just ignore it.
You can zoom in and make this angular size bigger to reveal small objects that you couldn't see.
Like this, you can tell a little bit of the boat is under, but they're like, look, it's the boat. I can see the top of it.
And then when you zoom out, it goes back together and things disappear into the horizon, not over.
We see skylines beyond what we're supposed to see. I mean, the visibility from 100, 200, 500 miles away, it debunks the whole 8 inches per mile squared.
Photogrammetry, I think, is one of the best way to convince yourself. You do multiple images of the ground, and then you put it in a software, and you realize how flat it is.
Wannabe66 with 40 bits says, in San Francisco, there's several inches difference in the distance between the top and bottom of the Golden Gate bridges because of the curve of the Earth. Yeah, I believe the Mackinac Bridge here in Michigan has the same thing because it's a similarly long bridge.
You're seeing it yourself. It's your data. Nobody's lying to you. You've taken the data yourself. It's not Jay Tolan that's trying to, troll you. Like some people, they're like, he's trolling people, man.
And it's not SpaceX or NASA doing it either. It's yourself.
Yeah, it's yourself. You're doing your own experiment.
Many times when you're looking out over water, there's waves. Well, those waves will block entire city skylines. If this was a wave right near me, if my face was a city skyline.
Literally, the thing he's showing right now, the bottom of these buildings are covered up by the curvature. It's always weird to me when they show that image, not understanding that it demonstrates curvature. Look at how much of the bottom of the buildings are covered. Like, you can... Whatever.
Line, it blocks just the bottom, but if that wave was closer to you, it blocks much more of it. It's all perspective.
And I thought I wasn't going to get anything that would beat this until I found this photo from Grandmere State Park. This is from...
Same thing. This is another photo they tout. Look at how much of the it's like halfway up the buildings that we're seeing. Look at how much of it is covered by the curvature, but they'll use this to say that they're right. It's very confusing to me.
Joshua Nowicki, and what you're seeing here is a mirage. Typically, we would not be able to see this. This image would be viewable from much higher in the sky, up in space. The story has been one of the most viewed stories on our website ever. They say my explanation is a cover-up. A cover-up to their belief that this picture is proof the Earth is flat.
The one goal I had was to prove that what people are seeing from the other side of Lake Michigan is not a mirage, that they are actually seeing the city.
I mean, you're seeing the city, but you're seeing it due to an optical specific... It's like an optical effect. So you are seeing the city, but you're not seeing it typically because there has to be specific conditions. It wasn't taken where they said it was earlier either.
It's amazing, dude.
How's the Stargate run? Good. We're at the end of season 6. I miss Daniel.
It certainly did. It's not a mirage, I can tell you that. No.
Our focal point was the Sears Tower.
Which is also known as the Willis Tower, right?
Yes, the Willis Tower.
The Willis Tower, and we can see it the entire time.
We can see it the entire time.
That's not a mirage. That's not a mirage, whatever you're looking at.
You see it?
Yeah.
That's that. You see that bridge?
It's not a mirage. That's the proof right here.
You're in the middle of the lake? I don't understand why they're doing this in the middle of the lake when the other photo was taken from the shore? What?
I was shocked to find out that there are a number of people that believe the Earth is still flat, and that to them, this is actually proof that the Earth is flat. One person just questioned me and asking me for a retraction of the articles and lies. A lot of people try and kind of be nice about it. Well, are you sure you did it right? And then they send me links that the Earth is flat. And some are just pretty straightforward about it, and they title replies calling me a deceiver, and that I should check my degree or quit telling lies on television. It got me questioning a lot of things. Were my calculations right?
No. You can obviously
I love that you cut him off before he's like, no.
see Chicago from that far away. It really is the Chicago skyline.
Again, look at how much of the buildings are covered.
From that far away. It really is.
Look at it. You can only see the tops. Why are they showing this? This is damning to their entire belief system. Like, if you could see the whole thing, it would maybe be different. You're literally seeing the thing. What are you doing?
Chicago skyline. We can see.
Is this like a cognitive dissonance thing where they don't, I don't understand how they don't see that this is like evidence they're wrong.
Things farther and farther away than that and prove it. You can prove it yourself. You can go there on a clear day and see the same thing. You can go do the same tests and prove it to yourself. That's the best way to do it, right? Prove it to yourself. You're not taking anyone's word for it. It's you're doing your own experiment. It's not a mirage. It's not an illusion. It's Chicago from 60 plus miles away. I mean, we could barely see the street sign a few blocks ahead of us on a foggy day. I mean, they're spraying our skies with shit all the time. You can open your weather app right now and it'll tell you the visibility. But that's how far they're telling you can see through the weather patterns. There's so many different factors of why we can't see that far. We're not superheroes. I mean, take any flat and level road around your house safely. Test it out, make sure it's level. But you take your camcorder and you bring it all the way down to the ground and you zoom in and you see all this distortion and it kind of vaporizes and globe heads want to add like this bridge is bending around a curve and there's the curve. It's like, no, it's an optical illusion. That's all it is. This has been replicated many, many times. There is no curvature. Stop fooling yourselves. And even something like the sun, when it goes across this huge plane, it sets and it disappears due to
perspective. So you're seeing
Yeah, they don't think the sun sets. They think it gets further away.
it come and go on such a vast
I'm sure most of us have seen the sunset before. The sun disappears bottom first.
plane. It's so huge that the
Look
sun
at, you can see it right now doing it.
come through and go so far away that it just goes out of your view and behind.
But then it would be getting smaller. It would be getting smaller. It wouldn't be diving but down bottom first. That doesn't make sense.
So many false horizons, i.e. mountains, trees, forests, city buildings, just really tall things. Keep in mind, the sun is much smaller and close.
This is an intelligently designed and created place. As the sun, moon, and stars are rotating around, knowing that we can only see a certain amount of light, I think like 1%, there's only so much light our eyes can actually see. Unless you're on like DMT, I'm sure you can see way more lights. But naturally,
oh, there was a Nazi symbol in there.
Our eyes can actually see. Unless you're on like DMT, I'm sure you can.
Yeah, that's a Nazi black sun? Hold on. Yeah, this is a Nazi symbol. Why is this in the video? Oh god. Was that intentional? Or are they idiots and just grabbed footage without noticing? Yikerinos. I guess take note of that.
Can see way more lights, but naturally we can't see that many lights in the sky. All ancient civilizations spoke about other bodies, other lights in the sky that may or may not be visible to us at any given time. It's crazy though, when you see solar eclipse, you don't see the moon at all. I remember as a kid, I'd like, where's the moon now? And it's like you just see this black circle and then everything goes back to normal, it seems like. It's like, what the heck just happened?
On the total eclipse of the sun, the shadow that the moon casts on the earth is only 70 miles wide. That is impossible, but then they come up with umbra and...
That's not impossible.
And penumbra, and it's just stuff to confuse your mind. We have an infinitely far sun sending diagonal rays from the side and straight rays from the middle where they cross each other. It makes absolutely no sense.
I went live a few years
The fact that it doesn't make sense to you does not inherently mean it does not make sense.
ago on YouTube.
Again, he has made over $600,000 from Flat Earth. Dave is a straight grifter.
During the 2018 eclipse in the United States on a live event, and we were all waiting for the moon to actually show up to cause this elliptical, this eclipse, and all we found was no moon showed up.
What do you mean no moon shows up? Wait, because it's not being lit on the side, you're saying? Are you saying it's not the moon? They think it's not the moon because they can't see the details on the surface because the side they're looking at is dark. Okay. Okay.
So that blew my mind to think that there was actually no moon visible, yet this...
There was a moon visible. You could just see it dark because the sun was on the other side of it, and the side you're looking at isn't being illuminated by the sun. Woo! Jade Monkey, thanks for 27 months with Prime. That's a sub baby. This sub baby's name is... What's a rank above Sergeant? What's the rank above Sergeant? Corporal. Mark Corporal.
This effect of the sun literally being covered by an object.
Mark Sargent is a flat earther, for those that don't know.
I had witnessed.
Why can't we see the moon approach the sun, eclipse the sun, or exit the sun? And we
You do see it. You just don't identify the moon as the moon.
don't. We just see...
Corporal is lower than Sergeant. Okay, Major? Mark Major?
Black circle eclipsing the sun. We never see it next to the sun. Now people say, well, it's because the sun is so bright. When the moon is totally eclipsing the sun, you should be able to see the features on the moon. You should be...
Why? No, you wouldn't, because none of it's being illuminated because the sun is on the opposite side of it from your perspective. What are you talking about? Oh, Hype Train. If you want to help out with the Hype Train, use bits or subs. I'd really appreciate it. It's close to the end of the month, and things are always tight. So if you like the show, consider helping the Hype Train.
Be able to with a regular camera, with your regular eyes, with an infrared camera, but it has never been seen. There's only been anti-flat earthers that will fake an image and fade it into a picture of the eclipse. There's no video of it. Think about what an amazing video would be if they could film it from the International Space Station or from the moon itself. Never happened.
You wouldn't see it. You can. They actually have taken pictures of the shadow from space. Does he just think they're fake? Sweet Lily Love, thanks for 100 bits. Tea Time Tea, thanks for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much.
Because I don't believe it. The moon that we see is what's eclipsing the sun.
Meaner is Meaner, thanks for 40 months.
There's lots of ancient mythology about other dark bodies.
There could be anomalous bodies up there. They're not actually visible to us as celestial.
Nemesaur, thanks for another 10 subs. You are always so generous. We all appreciate you. I hope you know that. We all appreciate you and everything you do for the channel.
Body that we perhaps can't see, because you know there's no on the spectrum of light. We can only see 1% of all the light rays, gamma rays, X-rays. You know, we can't see these certain frequencies in internet.
Okay, but we have devices that can see other frequencies of light beyond the visible spectrum, and we use those tools, but then you call it CGI. Wannabe, thank you so much for 1,000 bits, 60% to level 5.
Energies and lights.
What happens is the sun is eclipsed by the so-called moon, but it's not the moon.
The so-called moon.
It's actually the north node.
There's been, times documented in the past where there's, this eclipse, and the moon's supposed to be eclipsing, and there's no moon anywhere in the sky. Nowhere. Anywhere.
The fact that you aren't identifying the thing in front of the sun as the moon is kind of a you issue. Comrade Simon, thanks for continuing your gift sub.
Then that makes absolutely no sense. So there's got to be another celestial body.
Oh, and thank you for gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you so much.
Oldest ancient symbols, and it's the black sun, a celestial body that we perhaps can't see.
It's the moon!
A lot of ancient civilizations always spoke about a black sun.
Okay, this was intentional. Alright. Okay. They... Bumble Homestead, thanks for gifting a sub.
Like, why are they talking about a black sun for hundreds, if not thousands of years? And that information now is turned into, oh, the black sun is an evil thing. It's like, well, yeah, of course, that's what they're selling it. They're selling it to you as an evil thing.
It's a Nazi symbol. I'm not saying in ancient times it was, but much like the swastika, it was co-opted by Nazis. So now you don't use that symbol unless you want everyone to assume you're a neo-Nazi. H-Baird with 50 bits says, I truly did not see that coming. Bittergrin says, but you can watch the moon move in front of the sun. They don't think that's the moon because they can't see the craters.
Thing to stay away from it. They already don't want you to like the real sun in the sky. They push it so far away. They want you to not care about it. There's a reason it's close to you. There's a reason it's here for us. There might be more suns and moons on the outskirts of Antarctica, on the outer lands. There might be more suns and moons. There might be more suns.
You get a moon, and you get a moon. Everyone gets a moon.
The moons in our world here, but we just can't see it. And you talk about the seasons itself. Seasons prove the Earth is a stationary plane with a local sun.
When the sun is circling over the Earth over here in the Tropic of Cancer, these people here, they have summer. But 6 months later, the sun is over here. It's going around over here. So Australia down here, and South Africa, and South America, now they have summer because the sun is local. It's not 93 million miles away.
And the sun and the moon revolving and springing into the center seasonally and then springing back out again. This makes perfect sense than a spinning ball hanging on an invisible sky hook.
No, it doesn't, because that's not what our observations show. The fact that you have made what you believe to be an internally consistent model for seasons doesn't mean that's the reality, because it doesn't comport with our observations of the Earth or the seasons. Bittergrin says, with 100 bits, also you can tell that the sun isn't just getting further away because the disk stays the same size all day. 68% to level 6 on the hype train.
At a degree of 6.66.
The black sun isn't an old symbol, it's just a Nazi one. Oh, that's so much worse!
Of a supposed axis which tilts the Earth.
People need to stop defending a theory that they were taught in kindergarten.
So at sunrise, every sunrise...
They want us to believe 2 + 2 = 4. Do they take us for fools?
Should be arctically cold because that is the most severe tilt.
I bet they also want me to share my toys and not sneeze in other people's faces, those fascists.
Possible. And to make it worse, in the northern hemisphere, in the heliononsensical model, the sun is 3.5 million miles farther away in our summer. But when the sun shows up on the horizon, I can feel the heat on my face immediately.
Yeah, it has to do with the amount of sunlight per square foot because of the axial tilt of the Earth. We don't have different seasons because of the distance from the sun. We have seasons because of axial tilt. The fact that he is acting like he doesn't know this, or Jesus, if he actually doesn't know this, is insane. This is shit that you get taught in, like, elementary school.
I can get a suntan in June. But in December, at solar noon, when the sun is at its highest point in the sky, I can look up at the sun and barely feel the heat on my face. And also, it's 3.5 million miles closer. The whole tilt thing doesn't make any sense.
It does make sense. The fact that you reject it does not mean it doesn't make sense.
And when the sun is on this side...
Do I have the globe prop? Oh, yeah. This shows... Oh, no! The thing... One sec. Mr. Blast got this for me. It's kind of cool. It shows... There we go. During the winter solstice and the summer solstice, where the sun is relative to... You can't see it very well, the light isn't picking up great, but it basically shows where the sun is shining on the globe at different points of the year. Very neat. Thank you so much for that incredible hype train, everyone. Really appreciate it.
It only illuminates this part of the Earth because it's local. And this part is dark, that will be night. So it's quite easy to understand day and night and the seasons and explain them on the flat Earth than it is with the globe model.
The sun, moon, and stars are rotating around our heads like a perfect clock, and it goes out of your view as taking the light with it. This is an intelligently designed and created place.
The sun does move about 15 degrees per hour through the sky, but when it gets close to the horizon, it kind of stops and it stays there and it moves at a different speed.
No, it doesn't. What are you talking about?
I filmed this several times with my drone. No humidity and not over water.
Look at it disappearing bottom first as it disappears over the horizon.
And it'll just stop and sit there. And then it kind of just fades away as it goes into the distance.
It's disappearing bottom first! How do these people not see this? They're seeing the glare a lot, too. This is something they don't use glare-proof lenses, and it gives them an incorrect impression about the size of what the sun is in their footage. So often they'll be catching glare, and they think that the glare is the sun.
Because of perspective, I have friends that were down at the beach that saw the sun set 10 minutes earlier from the bottom up. And that's simply because they're looking across a span of water that has a hill with trees, a tree line on it, which is hundreds of feet over their heads. But from their point of view, it's at eye level. And as the sun moves away, it just gets eclipsed by the tree line, which they think is eye level, but it's high up in the sky.
Water. It's always flat, always level.
So starting at the northernmost point, as far as I can get, of Lake Michigan, and then traveling south, you can see that red line here, that the body of Lake Michigan is 574 feet above sea level, and it's level. There's no change in elevation, there's no curve.
Elevation is not curvature. They do this all the time, too. They will equate elevation with curvature when they are entirely independent things. They have no relation to each other in the way they imply.
This cross-section shows what an undisturbed body of water
Level doesn't mean flat.
looks like, and that's level. We know that to be true. There's three properties of liquids. They have mass, they take up space, and they always take the shape of their container.
The physics of water is to find and maintain level. So if it's in a cup, to this lake behind me, to the seas, to the oceans, that's why I call it sea level, because it's flat and level.
That's not why they call it sea level.
No matter who tries to sell you the idea that water's curving over a ball, it's just not happening. That's the #1 proof right there, just water alone. Water alone proves that the Earth is flat, because water always finds and maintains level.
And level on a sphere includes curvature. I know that's hard for them to understand.
Period. Water does not curve.
It does.
In its temporary state, it's finding its level. Once it hits the ground and finds its level, it remains level.
I never even thought of the idea of water maintaining its level, and that alone just like mind-blowing. Like, absolutely, water has to maintain its level. Like, it's always, if it's calm and there's nothing going on, you know, you look at a lake, it's just chilling flat. It has to be. It can't curve.
There's nothing you can say or do to ever show water bending or curving. Water
Wow, look at all that water curve. Of course, they think this is CGI, or that Stanley Kubrick made it. But there you go. Wannabe says water will seek its level based on center of mass.
Water needs to be contained. No matter what you do, it's going to remain level.
The flat Earth proves beyond a shadow of a doubt the existence of intelligent design, a creator, and we are all important.
I find that so weird that they say that, because even if the Earth was flat, how would that prove that there was an intelligent design? It doesn't. It's a complete non sequitur.
Of intelligent design, a creator, and we are all important in the center of the universe.
Yes.
How narcissistic. I'm the most special boy. We're all so important, and we're the entire reason for the universe. He sounds so smug. Very bizarre.
It is absolutely imperative that we know that there is a creator, that the sun, moon, and stars revolve around us, that we have a purpose. We are at the center of the universe.
They don't revolve around us. We are spinning.
I didn't become a millionaire until I realized I was at the center of the universe. And I have a purpose.
Another rich narcissist.
You understand that you are at the center of creation. Everything changes. And basically, we're unplugging.
Correct, Jay's approx.
From the matrix. We're unplugging from the heliocentric system. And when you do that, the rulers of this world, you unplug from them. You stop feeding them what they need. They want your fear energy. They want your labor. They want everything from you. And people unknowingly just keep giving it to them.
I don't want my children to be lied to. And I don't want my grandchildren to be lied to either.
Your poor fucking kids. Oh, those kids are gonna be so fucked.
So if this is going to stop, it starts with you and I.
You know, they inherit all this stuff. You go to school and they teach you. When I was in grad school, man, I was shocked that most of my classmates were not really interested in learning. They were interested in passing a class.
On the one side,
Tea Time Tea with 40 bits says, I'm so glad I got into embroidery so I can stab stuff while listening to this shit. That sounds therapeutic. And H-Baird says, some people's purpose is to serve as a warning to others.
tens and tens of scientists proven that the Earth is stationary and we have nothing on the globe's side, so the Earth is stationary.
No one thinks how easy it is to do this.
The manipulative music, too. It's insufferable. I don't even like when, like, legitimate documentaries do that shit and try and, like, set the tone with the music really heavy-handedly. Terrible.
Pulled it off, unfortunately. But we're here now to completely reverse this. And people hate on us from the left and from the right. Everyone hates on us. Like, shut up with your flat earth stuff. It's not important. It's the most important thing. It opens the door for everything else. You want to know the truth? You have to know where you live.
Well, that's a weird edit.
This whole agenda is to keep people disconnected from our creator. You know, they want to just cut all our ties spiritually, and that's one reason why they calcify.
Most human beings are religious or spiritual in one way or another, so the idea that the shape of the Earth is preventing people from being that makes no sense.
Our pineal gland.
They don't care about our health. You know this by look at your water supply. Even the water that you'll drink yourself when you go and buy bottles of it, it's got chlorine in it, it's got fluoride in it. These are all chemical waste products that they then rebrand and put in our drinks and tell you, oh, well, it cleans it. We'll also take away all of the medicine that's kept people alive and well for centuries. And they'll tell you, oh, no, that's not.
Do you know the death rate in past centuries? It's much higher than it is these days.
That's not safe for you. Here's our product. Here's our petroleum-based medicine that they've been pushing on us for the past 100 years. And of course, look at people's health. Look at the world's health.
When has the global population expanded the most? Oh, over the last century or so? With modern medicine that you're deriding? Oh, okay. When has infant mortality rate gone the lowest in human history? Oh, in the last century after modern medicine and vaccines? Oh, okay. Just checking.
Are we a healthy nation? Is any nation a healthy nation? No. And who's in charge of healthcare? The governments, the corporations. So it seems like everything that they touch turns to shit. So why do we allow them to touch everything?
Stop defending Rockefeller, Rothschilds, all these goons, these people that want the New World Order, the modern day people, Bill Gates, Schwab, all these people that...
There are so many legitimate reasons to hate wealthy people and powerful people who use their power to self-enrich instead of helping people. The shape of the earth isn't one of them.
They're pushing for it, and they feel like it's almost there, and we're sitting here fighting it. We're sitting here trying to wake the world up so we can have a peaceful and loving world again. And you're attacking us. Whose side are you on? We're trying to take these evil entities down.
Yeah, we could have played bingo with this and someone could have won. There was a lot of stuff in here.
That suppress our knowledge. We're trying to give knowledge back to the world so we can become powerful again.
If there's more land, if 1 billion people...
I wish there was more land, because these people would fucking leave.
People found out tomorrow that they can all go to outer land space and visit other tribes and civilizations and explore technology and animals, the whole system would crumble.
And I know
that's not true. Like, when people discovered, for instance, when Europeans discovered the Americas, Europe didn't crumble. What are you talking about? People have, for the most part throughout human history, stayed where they are. Most people don't want to go do manifest destiny. There are always going to be people who do want to go places and start new things or whatever. But most people aren't. Most people just want to live their lives with their families. The fact that you desperately want to eject yourself from society doesn't mean most people do.
There's a lot of people out there, celebrities, people with big shows, big names, with big followings that know the truth of this world, and you're keeping quiet just to protect your little empire. Well, now it's time to say something, because the empire is falling. If we don't do something now, all of this is going away, and they're taking over this world. So speak out. It just takes one celebrity, one person with a big following, and then it goes viral, and then the entire system collapses. All of this world control is based on the heliocentric lie.
Well, I'm glad that's over. Should we do another pet psychic thing real quick? Let's do another pet psychic thing to end on, since we started with it.
So I'm a pet psychic.
Okay.
Can I talk to your horses?
She's gonna talk to the police horses.
Sure. So is there anything that you wanted to know about them, or any like problems you've been having, or? It's okay, you can be skeptic and still ask a question.
Let's see what he has to say.
Okay, what's his name?
Boston.
Okay.
The horse says a cab.
He says two things. One, when you tighten his girth at first, you're doing it too fast. He doesn't mind it tight, because it's too fast. Do you ever notice that with him? No, they don't like it. And then the other thing he said is before you put him away, he wants to run a little bit. Do you let him do that?
Wow, a horse wants to run around. That's breathtaking that she could figure that out.
I think it's like with you on him too, right? It's with him on you.
I'm glad too, Nemesaur. I hope your show was, or whatever show you went to was good.
Yeah, I want to really run. I never get to do that. He wants to know if you'll ever have to shoot someone on him.
The horse says a cab.
Who knows?
That's what I said. And he said that if you have to shoot someone, you're gonna jump off, right? And I said, of course, right? Like afterwards, I'm sure you'd have to jump off. And he says,
Pterodona says, "Get this asshole off my back," is what the horse
he knows he's supposed to just stand there, but that might scare him. Fair enough, right? But still, just stand there.
I agree.
Do you want to say anything?
Whoa, look at that.
His back right hip has been bothering him, and he wants something softer to lie on.
Really?
Give me more shade.
Just to be like, I'm gonna give you more shade. Were you going there to talk?
I just went to look. I just said, okay, I'll go look.
Yeah, we went to Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Like water lower, but it's hurting his neck? There's this water lower? Big Dalmatian. That makes sense. Why would you want it lower?
Seemed like a
Benigagami says the fact that they have such a desire to not be part of society isn't a symptom of their greatness. It's basically a desire for death. Dan Olson did a short video on this about how MAGA's a death cult using a penguin clip that the White House posted themselves. Oh boy, I'll have to check that out. I don't want to play it on here though, because I probably wouldn't have commentary.
be the other way around.
Yeah, wouldn't it? What is it? Is it in a bucket?
No, it's on the wall.
It's on the wall, like the automatic
Halfway up the wall. Yeah, it's halfway up the wall. Yeah, automatic.
I wonder if he has to go like that. Maybe it's an adjustment. Do you guys use chiropractors?
Chiropractor?
Yeah, for horses?
We've had some come in and do different things.
Oh, that he could use one.
He is an older horse, though.
I'd be afraid to get that close to a horse's head.
He says his
especially a police horse.
hoof and
I think horses are scary in general, though.
side, the front right is sore.
Is sore?
Yeah.
Really?
Does he feel lame to you at all?
No.
He wouldn't be riding.
Look at the horse now. Good boy. That's good.
He said that you and him have been together for a while. Is that true? And he says, what's going to happen when he gets retired? Is he going to go to auction?
No.
Would you keep him?
He's going to go with me.
You're going to go with Dad.
Mom, you didn't go to
Am I going to have a big pasture?
Bigger than what he has now.
Bigger than what you have now. I think we should go camping.
Really?
Do you do that with him?
Haven't yet. No, he's a city horse, so he can't go camping.
you
But
should take her camping. Have fun.
That would be cool. Cool. You guys have any questions?
No.
Where do you think?
Huh?
Where do you think?
what do you mean?
What did you think about it?
Please stop. This is so cringe. Please stop.
Yeah? Did you believe it?
Huh?
Did you believe it?
Did you believe? Come on.
I would say that I'm skeptical, but I don't see anything there that isn't believable.
Okay, that's good.
Does that sound fair?
Yeah, that sounds totally fair.
Asking
I'll take
for
that.
approval.
How about you? You're like, you haven't sold me yet.
Who knows in this
They're trying so hard to be nice.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
All right.
Jesus Christ. All right. Let's see who we're going to rate on Twitch. We'll cover more animal psychics at some point. That's kind of a weird little subculture of its own. Huh. Anyway, let's see who we're going to raid. Oh, Tina. Okay.
And you've no idea who...
Love you too, Mr. Blast. Alright, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Not sure what we're going to be doing, but I'll find something good for us. And goodbye on YouTube. Hope you all have a great night too. I'm going to go chill. Alright, see you later. Have a great night.